Hi, I'm Ken Gutman, Walled Lake School Superintendent. This has been, as always, a busy first semester of the 2017-2018 school year. Learning is taking place every day in our schools, and I see the incredible interaction occurring among our teachers, our staff, our administrators, and of course, our students. Thank you and congratulations to our outstanding performing arts students and our staff who participated in these fall performances. Walled Lake Northern's performance of The Night of the Living Dead, Walled Lake Western's performance of Hairspray, and Walled Lake Central's performance of The Mouse That Roared. Our middle school students lit up the stage as well with Banks Middle School's performance of Mulan Jr., Smart Middle School's performance of Lion King Jr., and Walnut Creek Middle School's performance of Shrek Jr., the musical. Our collage concerts have been extraordinary. This fall, all of our marching bands, our orchestras, and our choirs performed everywhere, from the stage to the football field and beyond. Our students and staff continue to impress with their talent and their creativity. I am excited to have Julia Barrett, Walled Lake Western senior, who was named Miss Hockey for the state of Michigan, here with me today to discuss her outstanding achievements. Let's welcome.
Thank you.
You bet. So, when you were named Miss Hockey, how did that feel?
I was just really honored. I actually didn't even know I was nominated for the award until they called me on stage for the final announcement. So yeah, it was really shocking. I was excited to earn it for the team, for my family, everyone who helped me along the way.
Yeah, it's all about team, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But it's quite an honor to be Miss Hockey.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you start? I mean, how did you start doing it, and then how did you end up on the team you're currently with?
So I was young. I was actually with my family in Grand Rapids. My cousin played hockey, and he was just transitioning into being a goalie. So all of his player equipment was just kind of sitting around. And he was like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "I've never even played hockey before. I mean, no, not really." And then he was like, "All right, let's go outside and we'll shoot around." I was like, "Okay." And then I ended up going home with all his old gear. And then for Christmas one year, I asked for hockey pants and a blue mouth guard. So it just kind of started there. And then I played on some travel teams growing up. In 8th grade, I played for CompuWare, which is a AAA team. And then I played high school my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. It was probably one of the best teams I've been on, with the girls, the chemistry that we all had together. And then this year I decided to play AAA hockey so I could further enhance my odds of playing in college. So.
Excellent. What does teamwork look like on a hockey team versus the real world, so to speak, or school or anything else?
You just have to trust your teammates. Just know that they have your back all the time. Really just have your faith in them and know that they'll pick you up when you're down, pick them up when they're down, just all around.
You think that'll pay off later in life as well?
Definitely, yeah.
You bet. So you went to Wixom Elementary, Sarah Banks Middle School, and then Walled Lake Western.
Yeah.
What did you like about your educational side of your life? What went well for you in school? And are there any teachers you'd like to give a shout out to?
I mean, definitely the staff. They've always been there. If you ever need help on something, they're really approachable. And my favorite teacher is probably Miss Siren. I had her for AP Lang last year, English 12 this year. She's always just taught us not only the English side of things, but like life lessons kind of thing. It'll kind of stick with me the rest of my life. So. What's one
life lesson?
Oh geez. I don't know. Just know that not everything's gonna go your way, but when it doesn't, kind of through adversity, just kind of see the end goal of it.
Sure, is that a hockey joke?
Huh?
That end goal was a hockey joke? No.
Of course.
So you're going to Adrian College.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
As weird as it sounds, kind of the travel part of it. So we'll go to New York a couple times, play the teams there. Just because I know the travel team I'm on now. I know just being in the hotel, just kind of is where you bond the most. So the long bus rides there, I know we'll just have our bonding time there. So I'm really excited for it.
That's great. And on the other end of things, the learning part of it, you're going into health sciences?
That's what I'm planning on now. Yeah.
You have time.
Yeah.
You have time, but what would be the end game there? What are you looking to do potentially?
Possibly being a physical therapist for athletes. One of my coaches now actually graduated from Adrian, and that's what she's doing. So she helps players who tore their ACL and got to get them back to the game. So working with athletes, just so they have the drive to get back to the game would be pretty cool.
That'd be nice to get back.
Yeah.
You have now, this is your 4th year here at
Yes.
Western.
Yeah.
Senior year. Incoming freshmen, current 8th graders. What would you tell them? What do they need to know about getting into high school?
It's not as scary as it sounds. I do have to say, like, follow your heart, whether it's sports, academics, anything. Just, like, follow your heart. If your heart's telling you one thing, but other people are telling you other, just listen to yourself. Just know that, like, put yourself in the best position to be successful.
Well, you've obviously done that. You put your heart into everything, and you've been enormously successful.
Yeah.
Miss hockey in the state of Michigan, going on to play in college and probably pursue health sciences, subject to change. But we're just so proud of you here in Walled Lake Schools.
Thank you.
And I know you don't want to be out of class to sit here and talk to me right now. I appreciate that sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
And we wish you nothing but the best in the future. We'll be watching your career, but as well as your academic achievements. And thank you for representing your district, your family, your community with such class.
Yeah.
And again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We recognize students involved in fall sports programs at our December Board of Education meeting. We had high school boys and girls who excelled in football, soccer, swimming, tennis, golf, and much more. Congratulations to each of our student athletes. We also, of course, recognize several student artists from several schools. As I mentioned, our performing arts students continue to impress us with their achievements. We are very excited for the Walled Lake Northern Marching Band and Director Mary Helleberger, who are preparing to march in London's New Year's Day Parade. Many Walled Lake Northern staff and families will be spending the majority of the winter holiday in Great Britain. We're proud of our students and staff, and we, of course, wish them well. I am proud to have Joel Sharp, teacher at Walled Lake Central and Walled Lake Central boys soccer coach, who was recently named 2017 MIH SSCA Public Large School Coach of the Year.
It feels great. I'm honored for it, but when I initially heard that I'd received it, I didn't feel that I deserved it because there were so many people that supported me along the way, whether it's my wife and kids, my mom and dad. I mean, I wouldn't be a coach without my brothers. My older brother got me into coaching and into teaching. And then you look at the kids. I don't get there without all the dedication and hard work that they've given. I have an absolutely outstanding coaching staff with Drew Drummond and Bill Friend. Were helping me on the varsity. And in those two, Bill was my defensive specialist, and we only gave up 7 goals this year. And Drew was our offensive specialist, and we scored 80. So between those guys, I couldn't have done it without them. And I had a great group of parents, a booster club. Everything was perfect. It was set up, and, the support that I had from Chuck Morgan at Central, he was with us the whole way. And the staff and all of the friends in Purple Pod that I'm able to talk to, and great coaches that coach football and track with Bob Meyer and Jeff Penrod. They are always there to talk about it and keep my head in place and in that. So it's difficult for me to truly accept this award individually when I know that I couldn't have done it without them.
Sure, and that's what all the great leaders say. And
I
I know you don't want to take the praise, but it is well-deserved.
Well, I will accept it for Walled Lake Central.
Fair enough.
They're my home. So
fair enough. Talk about your soccer history, your love of soccer, where it all began, or anything to do with how did this all happen?
Well, so it's an interesting story because I don't fit the normal bill for what like soccer players, and especially nowadays where we have such a players are kind of funneled into like one sport and specialize in that area. I grew up baseball, football, and basketball, and not until my sophomore year did one of my best friends kind of talk me into going out for the soccer team and being the goalkeeper. And then from there, it was on to Michigan State, where I walked on as a goalkeeper, and I think that was kind of what, kind of funneled me into being soccer. I love basketball and baseball and all that as much as soccer. So the idea of, I guess, being an athlete and competing is as much of my identity as just soccer is.
Sure, and being able to do that at the finest university in the world probably had to be a great honor as well.
It was without a doubt the greatest honor. So
You bet. Soccer's becoming more popular now, I think, than it's ever been.
It is, and Michigan State made it to the grade 8 and almost to the Final Four this year, and so that program's doing great. And we're as a country, we're getting there.
I'm wondering, we seem to be a football country. For example, if the Lions went to the Super Bowl, this town would be crazy.
It would be crazy.
I don't know why I even talk about it.
Yeah.
But we all hope.
Yes.
But could soccer ever be here what it is in Europe?
Sure. I mean, obviously, I think we have some of the best athletes in the world. We have some of the greatest trainers and that. I think, like anything, that it's a matter of the money. When the money comes in and you start to see the player development in a way that European countries do and South American countries, I think we'll be there as well. But until then, I think we're a good country in the world of soccer, but, maybe not exactly what we're used to with basketball and baseball and football and that.
Sure.
So,
what does it take to be a good soccer player?
For me, what I try to instill with the kids is it's hard work. I think, I am most likely never going to have anybody that's going to make it to a living out of playing soccer. But I think we've tried to instill that you just work hard. And if you work hard and you dedicate yourself to something, whether it's the game of soccer or, obviously school and your passions, that I think we're all have the ability to do great things. And I had a group of kids this year that committed themselves to a great thing. And I think we were proof that, a school that is not traditionally known for being a soccer powerhouse went and made some great strides and took down some pretty big schools. Because of that mentality that we just went out and worked and did our job.
What was the biggest win?
The biggest win, there's so many great wins this year. Anything in regionals, like I thought the Rochester, they were the heavy favorites. Every time I talk to a coach to get a scouting report, everybody's like, oh, they're the odds-on favorite. They were, close to getting there last year. They got, some other players. We played a very good De La Salle team during the regular season towards the end, and it was our military salute game, and it was an absolutely just magical night, and we just came out flying. And at that point, their coach, who I played at Michigan State with, came over to me and he's like, you guys are as good as anybody I've seen this year, and you guys can make a run. And so, I think whether it's that or beating Troy at Troy on their field to go to the state finals, I think it's hard to just pick one. That was such a great victory.
Oh, it was a great year.
It was.
It was a great year, and obviously you did a nice job coaching. And I know you had a good team around you. One final question for you.
Huh.
All the hundreds of thousands of elementary students who are watching this.
Okay.
What a big audience.
A big audience. I'm sure this is going to be on their...
Worldwide.
Okay.
What would you say to them about why elementary students and young children should get into soccer?
I think it's, for them, it's such a great game because you can just run. There's not a lapse in time. There's not a kind of like a boring point, per se, that, they just get out and they run. The ball's always moving. But I think the more important one would probably go to parents, especially those that have grown up in traditional sports like baseball and football and that. Even if those kids want to go on and play football, and like I said, I played football my whole life, but the athleticism and the coordination that soccer teaches, without necessarily the impact of like football, I think is such a great experience for them as being athletes, and it still teaches toughness. It teaches those things that we want to teach with sports, but in a way that you don't necessarily get in those kind of root motor skill sports, like where football is very, blocking a certain way, and that there's more like a fluid flow to the game. So,
okay. Do you and Coach Meyer ever have the discussion which is a better sport?
No, not at all. We both love each other and the sports and support each other. I have players that kick for them, and the two of us do a great job supporting each other, and it's a great environment.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, you helped create a great environment, both with your soccer team as well as in the classroom. Thank you for that. Thanks for your commitment to our kids academically, athletically, and congratulations again.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Absolutely. We are very happy to have Dr. Hirsch, owner of Hirsch Beatty Orthodontics, with us today to thank him for his continued support of Walled Lake Schools.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. You've been a very strong advocate of our public schools, your service on the West Bloomfield Board of Education, as a provider of planners and calendars for our middle school starting in 2003.
I didn't realize how long it was.
2003,
wow.
Right. And then you expanded years later to our high schools. Your total support of Walled Lake Schools and our community is valued at over $1 million to this point. That's simply incredible.
Well, I'm just really glad that it happened not all at once. Otherwise, I would never
Well,
have been able to do that.
I'm quite sure. But why do you do that? Why do you? I mean, we're thankful, but why do you support us?
Because
like
the key to our future is education. And yes, I know I'm involved in West Bloomfield schools, but my view is education and kids, they don't have borders. These are artificial borders. And I support kids in education no matter where they are.
Sure. Right. Every student in every district right now, all students will end up in the same world, interacting with each other.
And I don't know if you know this. This is before you came here. But originally, they were going to actually discontinue the planners for the middle schools.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's not good. So I wanted to step up and be an example that maybe other businesses and stuff can step up to the plate and support the schools. This is the area you've made your living, and you should support that.
So say more about that. Why would you encourage other businesses to support public schools, West Bloomfield schools, Walled Lake schools?
Because if the community has supported you in your business, you have to reciprocate. And, you know, when I go to career days in Walled Lake, and they always ask you, how much money does an orthodontist make? And I don't want to not tell them, so I tell them, you know what, you make enough money that you're comfortable. But with that money also comes responsibility. And you have a responsibility to support the community in which you grew up in which you support, and which your business is in.
Sure. No, that's a very healthy way of looking at things. So you also encourage students, or not encourage, but you support students who want to be dentists.
Oh, I think it's great. When a student tells me they want to be a dentist, right away I start calling them doctor. And they all want to know, how do you become a dentist? And I tell them that. And I tell them how you go to school and what you have to study. And just say, work hard, stay towards your goal, and do that. And then we always have kids who always come and mentor us. We mentor them. Sometimes they mentor us too. And we mentor them, and we show them what it's like to actually be in the profession, because that's the best way for them to decide if that's something they want to do. Also helps their resume.
Sure. And also probably helps some decide that's not what they want, which is healthy too.
As a matter of fact, I got to tell you, the mentoring program here in Walled Lake has helped me tremendously. And the reason why is I have 3 or 4 of my employees that have been with me over 15 years. They all started out as co-op students from Walled Lake schools that came to my office, or mentored and they wanted to come to the office. I think it's like 4 people that have actually started there. They've been with me for like 14, 15 years now.
Wow. It's a testament to you as well and your leadership that they still are there with you.
Well, leadership I learned from Dr. Gutman, because I know that he's very well respected in this.
Well, no doctor yet, in fairness.
Okay. We'll say.
Almost.
Okay, we'll say
But
Superintendent Gutman.
All right. Well, I won't accept the praise, but I'll accept the title. So your partner, or your colleague, Dr. Beatty, is involved with our district.
Absolutely. She is on the Walled Lake Schools Education Foundation. I think I got
She
that
is.
right.
That's right.
And
Foundation
she's
for
also
Excellence.
been very supportive, because I've started supporting Walled Lake Schools back from 1993 on. But she has, she's my partner. So she has done this also for the last 8 years. She has partnered with me in supporting the schools. And we have a third partner, Dr. Eisenberg, who is also supportive of Walled Lake Schools. So we can carry on this tradition. They're extremely helpful, supportive of the schools.
Well, and we're so grateful for all of your support.
Well, without them, I couldn't support you. They're a partner in the practice, and they realize the importance of helping out these kids.
Sure. What are some one or more memorable events that you've been a part of in Walled Lake Schools?
Wow. It's really hard to say 1 or 2, but every year I do science presentations, and I get to be with the kids, and the teachers are so supportive, and that's really memorable to me. Or if I do a career day, which is very helpful for the kids. I just, when you like kids and you always have in the back of your mind, do what's best for kids.
Right.
That's what partnering is all about.
Right. And what do you see in all of your interactions with our students? What do you see in terms of, if you were to categorize Walled Lake School students have these attributes that you see through your practice or through your experiences here in the district, what would you say are the predominant attributes of a Walled Lake School student?
It's hard to generalize, but Walled Lake schools are excellent. They all, the teachers I've met are excellent.
They are.
And because of that, the students pick up on this, that the teachers truly care about them. And the students, because of that, they care about their school district. They want to learn. They want to excel. And they're just, the kids are great.
You will have a legacy in Walled Lake Schools, and your practice will for a long, long time. What would you like that to look like?
You know, the reason I went, the only other job I ever considered was being a middle school science teacher, because I wanted to create a legacy where I care about education and I care about kids. And so I thought, I'm going to do everything I can, always kids' best interests first, whether it be with schools or the orthodontic practice. And if I had to think of a legacy I'd leave, well, you know, Mother Teresa once said, if you can't feed 100 people, feed one. So in other words, we can make a difference and we can change the world one person at a time.
Well,
and that's what I want to do.
You're doing that. You're doing that. And we know that in Walled Lake Schools, we can't walk into a classroom without a Hirsch t-shirt on several of our students. But clearly it goes so far beyond that. And I know it's genuine. You do make a difference for kids. And I want to thank you. Your generosity to this district goes far beyond what you know. The reach is far beyond what you even can imagine. I'm personally grateful. I know as a district we're grateful. You do make a difference in more than one of our kids. And so I thank you for all of that, and I thank you for spending a few minutes talking to me today.
That is the most important thing that anyone can say to me. Oh. So thank you very much. I appreciate your having me here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And I appreciate your being superintendent.
Oh, thank you. It seems as if everyone in Walled Lake Schools is involved in school and community giving activities throughout the year. At the holidays, to ensure Hospitality House and other food pantries are able to help those in need, our staff and students participate in numerous charitable projects. Please mark your calendar for our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day event on Monday, January 15th at Walled Lake Northern High School, beginning at 5:30 p.m. with dinner. Finally, I'd like to thank our Board of Education for their continued service to our school district and to our children. January is Board of Education Recognition Month, and it is a great way to begin the new year appreciating our selfless, hardworking, child-centered Board of Education. There is so much happening in all of our schools. Please make sure you read the district parent updates, your school newsletters, and access the district website and social media. I want to wish the Walled Lake Schools community a safe and restful winter break and a happy and a healthy new year. At Walled Lake Schools, we are here for every child, and we promise to continue to educate every child every day.